Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to my channel. I am Shanti, and in this video I wanted to share a few of the Korean dramas which I absolutely loved. But before I begin with the list, I just want to start off with the reasons I watch Korean dramas in the first place. If you are someone who's already watching them, obviously you don't need any reason. But if you're not yet into watching them, then this reasons might be a good start for you, good motivation point for you. So the very first time that I watched a Korean drama was in fact when I was preparing for GATE. So it was a pretty stressful time and I was pretty lonely because I had deliberately cut off all of my connections, relations with friends because I wanted to focus full time on studying. So at that point of time, they sort of offered me a solace kind of. It was fun watching them. Like they would always lift up my mood. So I started off for that reason, but then I continued to watch it because I actually found them relatable. Like as an Indian, you see that some of the issues that you face here in this society, the same issues you can see, the same kind of behavior patterns you can see even in the Korean dramas. So that was the reason I had continued to watch it, and now what is the reason is that in the past couple of years especially, these reasons are still valid, that they are fun, they are mood enhancers, but the main reason I still watch them is that they are very comforting. Like if you see the visuals, they are always very bright colors and natural colors, and that sort of, even the food that they show, that is very comforting, and I think that's the primary reason that I am watching the Korean dramas even now. So yes, now that the reasons are out there, the next step is to figure out what is the Korean drama that you can start with, because one difficulty that I often find is that there are so many of them and I don't actually like everything that I watch. Like it's very difficult for me to figure out which one would be the series that I would like. So there's a lot of trial and error involved, but each time I figure out that this is the right series, I really enjoy them. Now that's where I hope that this list that I'm gonna say comes in handy for you. Now let's start off. Now the very first series is My Liberation Notes. This is one of my favorite series of late. I happened to watch it when my life was a little chaotic, not depression or sadness wise, but just so many things were going on and it was so busy and it just felt like I would lose myself with all this work, and this series sort of helped me ground. Like the end of the day, at night before sleeping, I would watch one episode or maybe half an episode because the episodes tend to be very long. So I watch a bit of it and it just feels very calming. So it really helped me in that sense. Now the series itself is about 3 siblings and they are all figuring out their life, and it's very philosophical in nature. So if you are going through some existential crisis or midlife crisis, or even in general to understand the meaning of life, then this is a really good series for you to start off with. It will make you question a lot of things in your life. The second series is My Mister. This series in fact has the same writer as My Liberation Notes. So what happened is I loved My Liberation Notes so much that I found out who the writer is and I wanted to see other series written by her. So that's how I found out My Mister, and it was, once again, it's not very famous. Like if you see in blogs and all, I don't think you will find it, but this was very heart touching for me. This is, even though the writer is the same, it's not really the same. Like the setup is completely different. So there is one guy who is in his 40s who's going through a midlife crisis, all his life struggles, and there is a girl who's a very young girl. She belongs to the lower class of society, so she's having a lot of problems with money and the problems that come with all of those society problems that come with it, and how they sort of come together, how their lives intersect in a way that they are able to heal each other and get through this crisis. That's really what the series is about. I don't know if very young people can enjoy it, but I think if you are well settled, if you're about 25 or something like that, then I think you will definitely like this series. Now the next series is Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Now this is a series which I feel, unlike the first two that I've told, this is for all age groups. It's fun to watch and there's a lot of emotion also happening. It's interesting all through. So basically it's about an autistic lawyer and what are the kind of issues that she faces through, but it's kind of light-hearted. There's nothing very intense about it, so you can watch it as a light watch, but at the same time you can learn certain things. So this is a series for everyone, I think. So the next series is My ID is Gangnam Beauty. Now I don't know if I'm pronouncing Gangnam correctly, but it's the same Gangnam that's there in Gangnam Style song. So this is set against the backdrop of campus life. So there is one girl who has gone through a plastic surgery and what are the issues that she faces, but it in general represents college life as well, very well in fact. And I feel that it represents the same issues that we face here in India. These are also represented pretty well, and it's very surprising to see that the extent of similarity that we have. One of the most beautiful points of this series that I specifically loved is the kind of issues that women face in educational institutions. What are the kind of stereotypes that we have to go through? So that is represented very aptly. That's where I think I became a fan of the series. And overall the series is a fun watch. There's nothing much intense happening, so you can just watch it happily without any kind of attention. So since I have till now given only comedy, romance or fun kind of zoners, let me give you a couple of movies, series which are a little more intense. So the first one is Stranger. So this is a thriller. It starts off with a murder and there is this prosecutor who is the main guy, and this guy is trying to figure out who has who is doing all of this. So it's not just about the murder. In fact, there's a lot of it's a political series about corruption mostly. So it is a good watch if you are looking to watch something serious, and if you are someone who doesn't like slow paced series, then this is probably one of the series that you can start with. But it will be obviously different from what the kind of thrillers that you will see in English. So yes, that is one series. And the next series is, it's not a thriller, but it's sort of a horror comedy. So this series is Hotel Del Luna, and this series also, it was like so fun. There was horror as well, and so there is some story happening. There like a little bit of intense things that you can see, but it is still fun to watch. Another series which I have watched very recently and I absolutely love it is Sky Castle. So this series is around a serious topic, but it has a lot of comedy as well as drama. This is around the topic of coaching. So this is something that we can relate to, most of us at least, especially if you are in the engineering background. So there's a good storyline that is going, as well as a lot of points being told about the effects of coaching and how kids deal with it and such. You should watch it if it is something that you have gone through as well. Now the next series is Beautiful GongShim. Now this series was the very first series that I have watched, and to be frank, I watched it quite a long time ago, since it was my first series, and I tried rewatching it again and I did not enjoy it as much, but it was still that much fun. So it depends on where you are at this point of time, what is your age, but you can definitely give this a try. It was definitely fun to watch when I first watched it. In fact, that is a series that sort of pulled me into trying more series, so that says a lot about it, especially that character, the lead character. I still remember and I still laugh. It just brings a smile on my face whenever I remember that main character. So it is definitely a good try. Now the next series is Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. Once again, I don't think this is something that everybody would like, because this is very slow paced and there's not much story happening, but it's like a daily soap opera, right? You can just watch it, have fun, feel good, and yes, forget about it. So this is going to work in that way, so you could give that a try. Now next, let me tell you a few series which are focused on romance. So the very first one is What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. Now this is, I think you must have heard it already. It's there on every must-watch Korean drama list. It's very famous, and it's also, I think it is a marked difference. Like if you see older Korean dramas, there's a lot of patriarchy that you can see, which does not age well really. But I think What's Wrong with Secretary Kim is one of those first series which are actually like, they are represented well, the women, the relationship, and everything is represented better in terms of modern ideas, modern standards of patriarchy, feminism and such. So yes, this is I think it's a must watch. It's comical and there's story going on, there is romance, there's everything. So you could give it a try and I think you will love it. Another couple of series in the romance genre is Oh My Venus and Business Proposal. So once again, Oh My Venus is a little old, but that also has aged pretty well. So you can watch it. It's fun to watch. There's romance and everything. And Business Proposal is, I think it's more recent, and once again it's a short series. I think 13 or 14 episodes, so you can complete it over a weekend. And that's also pretty good. That's the list I wanted to share. Currently I'm watching a series called Mr. Queen, which is pretty good till now, but I don't really judge until the very end of the series, so I cannot judge it right now. And yes, I have been watching these series from 2016 or 17, so I've watched a good number of them, and I've been able to pick up these from amongst all of those series that I've watched. So I really hope that this will be of help to you. And yes, that's all for this video. If you did like it, if you did enjoy it, then don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment.